So much of communication is about managing ourselves when we are triggered, what to do when we're triggered. And so I'm going to teach you a little game you can play with yourself to help you move quickly through your triggers and keep your communication nice and clean and powerful and helpful. I'm Stacy Rocklein, and I help people create exceptional relationships by using intentional communication. So we get triggered. It's totally normal. There are times in our lives when we get triggered a ton. It feels like we're all day triggered, and other times when we feel pretty peaceful and chill and there's no stress in our life. But it happens to everybody. And the process is this: something occurs and it triggers us. And then we do a thing where we make a judgment about it. We spin a story about it. We create a narrative about it. We can spend a short period of time or a long period of time in our reaction to the trigger, right? Something as small as you walk into the kitchen and there are dishes in the sink that whoever had a midnight snack didn't clean up. Trigger, right? I can move on from that trigger within a minute, or I can spend 2 hours spinning a story about it, telling myself how disrespectful it is and don't they know better and I've asked so many times and blah, 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 right? At the end of my story, I'm going to end up with options. I'm going to have the option to let it go, to decide, well, this is mostly about me. I should probably let it go. Or this is really not that big of a deal. I'm going to let it go. Another option I have is to speak up, say something, make a request, make an observation, let the other person know that it's important to me to come out to a clean kitchen in the morning. So I can make a request. That's the second option. Third option, if it's a deal breaker, you put in a boundary. So I guess dishes is not the best example for this, but if somebody, you're at a party, okay, and your partner makes a joke at your expense, right? Kind of pokes fun at you and you're embarrassed. So you're triggered. You get triggered and you do the whole trigger dance, and you're going to get to a point where you're going to have three options. You're going to have to let it go, you're going to have to speak up, or you're going to have to put in a boundary. And a boundary is, I won't tolerate that happening again. It is not okay with me. And the next time that you make a joke at my expense, I'm going to leave and you'll have to find another ride home, right? You put in a boundary. You're going to end up with those three options, and you can end up with them 5 minutes later, 2 hours later, 2 days later. Or you can play this little game called How Fast Can I? How fast can I move through my trigger and make a choice? And I'm going to have to make those choices anyway. So how fast can I get myself to, do I let it go? Do I speak up? Do I put in a boundary? You can play this game all across your life and all of your relationships whenever you're dealing with a trigger, because you are in control of your response to the trigger. The thing is going to happen. People are going to do things and you're going to naturally be triggered by it. That's all not avoidable. That's just a part of life. It's that period of time between when you're triggered and when you act that you have control over, that response time. And when we can close that gap, we have a much more comfortable life. We have much more peaceful, conflict-free relationships. So that's your game. You're only playing against yourself. You're only trying to improve your time. You get to celebrate when you got over the dishes thing in a minute, when last week it took you 2 hours. Last week it took you all day. So you can play this game with yourself called How Fast Can I? How fast can I move through my triggers and get myself to, should I let it go? Should I speak up? Do I need a boundary? And if you do need a boundary, boundaries are kind of tricky. I do have a boundary blueprint that you can download for free. So make sure you grab that at the link that can help you put in boundaries. If you feel like you're kind of fuzzy on the difference between a request and a boundary, and you feel like you need boundaries, but you're not able to do them, or you feel like you've tried them and they haven't worked out, this will really help with that. And so if your option when you speed yourself through, how fast can you get to that choice and you end up a boundary, a little bit of help for that. But you can save yourself so much headache and heartache and internal turmoil just by playing this game against yourself. All right, good luck with it. I'd love to hear how it goes, and I'll see you next time.